In 2017, Japanese residents were horrified after the discovery of a chilling case. The disappearance of a young woman led to an investigation that uncovered a horrific series of crimes. This grim story unfolded in Yokohama, the capital of Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. The central figure of this tragic narrative is 20-year-old Tamura Aiko from Hachioji. Her family, consisting of her parents and an older brother, was plunged into despair due to her sudden disappearance. Tamura was a quiet and introverted girl. She dropped out of school after graduating from high school, and after her parents divorced, she lived with her mother. In May 2017, a woman died due to illness, which was a devastating blow for Tamura and led to mental health problems. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and her condition worsened so much that she needed treatment in a psychiatric clinic. Despite the physical distance, Tamura's brother supported her through social media, speaking words of comfort and hope. Everything was going well, and it seemed to the man that his sister's life was gradually getting better. But in October 2017, the girl disappears without a trace. During a desperate search, her brother uncovered a string of crimes that shocked the whole of Japan. The fate of Tamura and the other victims did not leave anyone indifferent. This case is considered one of the most heinous in the country. Let's fast forward to October 23, 2017. It was a Monday marked by silence. For the third day in a row, there was no news from Tamura, which greatly worried her older brother. Concerned about her fragile health and tendency to impulsive decisions, he decided to browse her social media in search of any hints of her whereabouts. One post, written on September 20th, sent chills down the man's spine. It was an obsession to find a companion to die together. Tamura wrote, "I want to die, but not alone. If you want to join, write to me. I'm ready to meet in Tokyo. Do you have a car?" Among the several responses, one was particularly disturbing. Use a. Shut down the noise. My apartment is available for this. Tamura's reply, sent 21 days later, was full of despair. We can do it today. I only have 1,000 yen. We can do without tools. Where are you located? Are you a man or a woman? This dialogue alarmed Tamura's brother, who was afraid of an ominous encounter. Trying to prevent her from going missing, he described the mysterious man and asked for help from the public. After a day of fruitless searches, the man contacted the police. The officers immediately launched an investigation, which quickly led to a crucial lead. Tamura was last seen at Hachioji Station on October 23 at 1:45 p.m., accompanied by a man aged 27 to 30, with shoulder-length black hair and a slim build. It was established that they were traveling from Hachioji to Machida Station, and then along the Odawara line to Sobudama Station in the city of Jama, located at a considerable distance from her home. At 2:04 p.m., they were already there. By 7 p.m., they had both disappeared from the station. The case took a new turn when one of the internet users who communicated with this man wrote to Tamura's account, providing important information. It was a young woman who said that she had arranged a meeting with this man on October 30th at the Sobudama station. Anticipating the danger, the police advised the woman not to go there, but instead sent undercover officers, including Tamura's brother. In the afternoon, the surveillance team found a man matching the description from the video, who seemed to be waiting for someone. Being careful, they followed him to a nearby two-story house located just 750 meters from the station. The man went up to his apartment, pursued by the police. After knocking on the door, the officers noticed a disgusting smell. And when the door swung open, a grim sight met their gaze. Tamura's brother immediately noticed her white bag inside. When asked about Tamura, the man gestured to the icebox. Inside, the layout of the apartment was simple, but at the same time, it was alarming. At the entrance on the left, there was a bathroom and a kitchen, above which there was a small attic. There was also a living room in which the terrible discovery was made. The police found 8 boxes, and when, at the direction of the detained man, they opened the freezer, they found monstrous remains. Hidden under layers of cat litter were human heads, legs, arms, and various bones, the remains of those who had disappeared some time ago. A quick inspection of the 8 boxes in the living room that 7 of them contained dismembered human bones, and the 8th was a toxic pile. The man was immediately detained. The number of police officers at the scene has increased, and they have launched an official investigation. In addition to the box of toxic substances, the other 7 boxes contained a total of 9 human heads and 240 bone fragments, which gave off an unbearable smell of decomposition. Police also found a saw, scissors, rope, and a number of other incriminating tools, as well as several pairs of shoes and leather wallets in the blood-soaked bathroom. The forensic medical examination revealed that one of the 9 victims was a man. All of them were dismembered, and the causes of their deaths have yet to be determined. The last death occurred less than 2 weeks earlier, and the most recent was about 3 months ago. As the news spread, a crowd gathered outside the house, including many journalists, and the police were forced to cover the crime scene with a blue tarp. Neighbors interviewed by the officers reported that there were no unusual sounds unrelated to the proximity of the railway. However, many locals have noticed an unpleasant smell since a man moved into the 2nd floor of the building. By November 9, 2017, 16 days after the incident, the police had identified 9 victims by DNA match. Among them were Mura Mizuki, a 21-year-old office worker from Otsugi, Kanagawa Prefecture, a 15-year-old high school student Hongashihara, as well as other people between the ages of 17 and 26, many of whom suffered from mental illness. The case has shocked the Japanese community, raising questions about how the perpetrator managed to commit 9 consecutive murders in a matter of months. Subsequently, the identity of the suspect was revealed. Tahira Shirase, born in October 1990 in the city of Jama, became the central figure in a series of chilling crimes. He was 27 years old. He was unemployed and lived only about 3 kilometers from his family's home, the town of Jama. His life path was filled with difficulties and dark events. Tahir's family, consisting of parents and a younger sister, lived a seemingly ordinary life. His father worked as an auto parts salesman, and his mother was a housewife. But underneath that exterior, Tahir revealed a deep-rooted egocentrism and disregard for other people's emotions. His childhood was marked by aloofness. In elementary and middle school, he was introverted, barely visible even in his graduation photo. The discord in the family, which ended with the divorce of his parents, led to the fact that Tahira decided to live with his father. During this period, he increasingly left school, taking part-time jobs in order to gain independence. It was at this time that he made an unsuccessful attempt to end his life using burning charcoal, along with other people with similar intentions. After graduating from high school, Tahira got a job at a supermarket, where he was described as a hardworking and very responsible employee. Later, the man joined an electronics manufacturing company. At the same time, he plunged into the dark world of pimping and got involved with questionable personalities. In August 2012, at the age of 22, Takahiro went to Tokyo's infamous Kabukicho district, an adult entertainment center. There he got a job, which consisted of finding women for local establishments. Takahiro earned a solid income of up to 300,000 yen, about $2,000, including referral payments and commissions. Despite this, his extravagant lifestyle left him with virtually no savings. In February 2017, a turning point came when Takahiro was arrested in Kabuki for trafficking minors. As a result, he was sentenced to 14 months of probation and 3 years of probation. During his probation period, he worked for a logistics company for a while, and then returned to the city of Zama, Kanagawa Prefecture. After returning home, Takahiro began to lead a secluded life, spending his days in a darkened room, immersed in the world of the internet. In Japanese culture, such seclusion is not uncommon. It is explained by various pressures from society. Japan, where, according to tragic statistics, 70 suicides are committed daily, ranks among the first in the world in this indicator. Takahiro took advantage of the dark currents on the internet, where death and suicide were hotly debated. He created 5 accounts on the social network, 1 for public discussions of these painful topics, and 4 for personal communication. The man skillfully manipulated contacts with vulnerable people. From that moment on, Tahira Shiraishi embarked on a hideous journey, exploiting the weaknesses of those in despair, and laying the groundwork for his eventual descent to the level of a murderer. In August 2017, the path of the 20-octagon Mizuki, a survivor of bullying in high school, suffered from an adjustment disorder and often found solace in the dark corners of social media. It was here that she communicated with like-minded people who shared her feelings, having narrowly escaped death during a planned group's suicide on the beach. This incident led her to Tahira and another online acquaintance, 20-year-old Toku Nishina. Having gathered in the park, they conspired to commit suicide together. However, Shinoki, after thinking about it, decided to step back from the edge of the abyss and start life anew. Mizuki, saddened by Shinoki's departure, informed Takahiro that she would not continue either. However, over time, Tahira developed a close relationship with Mizuki online, discovering her considerable savings, and considering her as a romantic and financial target. He had carefully devised a devilish plan. Tahira began collecting tools, a saw, a rope, and rented an apartment near Sobodama Station, which later became infamous as the site of his violent actions. The apartment's accessibility and lack of surveillance made it an ideal place for his criminal plans to be carried out. Under the pretext that he needed to make a deposit on the apartment, Takahiro convinced Mizuki to lend him 510,000 yen, about $3,500. 3 days after moving in, he made an appointment with her at the apartment. There he drugged her, and when she fell asleep, he committed premeditated murder with a rope he had prepared. After that, the man repeatedly raped the girl's corpse. Faced with the consequences, Takahiro spent 3 days carefully dismembering Mizuki in the bathroom. When the decomposition process began, he began storing body parts in the refrigerator night after night. He discreetly dumped the remains into the nearest trash cans. The difficulty of cutting off the disposal of the head forced him to buy ice boxes and filler for the cat litter to hide the head among them. On August 28, 2017, the grim series of crimes by Takahiro Shiraishi continued. This time, his victim was 15-year-old schoolgirl Honga Ishihara. Ishihara was a reserved girl who liked to chat with new friends on the internet. In elementary school, she often argued with her mother about studying, and after a particularly violent quarrel, she ran away from home during this period. When she was vulnerable and browsing social media, she met Takahiro. Following his usual course of action, he lured her to his apartment, where he repeated the same ruthless actions as with the previous victim. The mysterious disappearances of Mizuki and Tahira caused alarm among their families, who quickly notified the authorities. The investigation revealed chilling coincidences. The last traces of their mobile phones were found near the Sobodama station in the city. Despite careful searching in the vicinity, the police found no leads. Takahiro, hiding in his apartment, went unnoticed. The suspicious story of 20-year-old Tahira Shinoki, a young man with high-functioning autism, took another dark turn. A painful breakup led to hospitalization, and a subsequent meeting with an ex-girlfriend put him on the verge of suicide, which fortunately was prevented. Problems at work worsened his despair and again pushed him to reflect on death. Tak, who knew Mizuki, wrote to Tahira when he could not contact her, and they agreed to meet. After that, Tak's desire to end his life miraculously faded, and he even informed Takahiro of his desires. The newfound feeling in him a potential threat that could to link him to Mizuki's disappearance and thereby attract the attention of the police, he acted quickly. He lured the guy to his apartment under the guise of an ordinary meeting, drugged him with illegal substances, and killed him in the same way as Mizuki and Shiharu, 3 victims. The smell of decomposition became unbearable. In a desperate attempt to disguise the smell, Takahiro tried to cook the remains, but the stench did not stop the neighbors, although, and they knew about the bad smell, attributed it to the nearby sewer system, and did not investigate further, unwittingly allowing Takahiro to continue his monstrous deeds by committing 3 terrible crimes. Takahiro Shiraishi did not stop there and continued his bloody path. Soon he found a romantic partner on the internet who, unaware of his dark deeds, moved into his apartment. Takahira's next victim was a 19-year-old university student. Sarah Hanako suffered from mental disorders caused by severe pressure from her mother. On September 15, 2017, taking advantage of the opportunity when his girlfriend was not at home, Takahiro lured Sarah Hanako to his lair where he strangled, raped and killed her. Soon Takahiro attacked 20-year-old Hitomi Fuji, a divorced woman suffering from her child's disability and unstable family relationships. Her despair expressed on a social network against the background of a second divorce and forced relocation attracted Takahiro's predatory gaze. Their meeting took an ominous turn when Hitomi received a call from her ex-husband, who asked for a meeting. Thinking that this call could disrupt all his plans, Takahiro decided to end her life quickly and ruthlessly. To reduce the odor emanating from his victims, the man invented an original ventilation system in the apartment. His ruthless attacks claimed for more lives and killed 8 people in total. The 9th box at the crime scene, ominously empty, was intended for the 10th victim, but the timely intervention of the police prevented further tragedy. The complexity of the case and the need for careful collection of evidence delayed the start of the trial for almost 3 years. Finally, hearings began in the Japanese court, at which Takahiro stated, "I regret that I killed some of my victims with whom I spent a lot of time, and I want to apologize to these families. But as for the rest, I really don't feel deep regret. The only thing I regret is that I failed when I was caught." After that, the man confessed to killing and dismembering 9 people. Takahiro claimed that his motive was intimacy. He wanted to use the vulnerable state of his victims to manipulate and abuse them, realizing his fantasies, and not worrying that they would reject him. The lawyer asked for leniency because of alleged mental health problems, but the court found no grounds for mitigation of punishment and sentenced Tahir Shiraishi to death on December 15, 2000. After the verdict was handed down, the man's lawyers filed an appeal, but 3 days later Takahiro withdrew it. He explained that he did not want to cause unnecessary trouble to his relatives, prolonging the trial. He also stated that all the charges against him were true, and he did not want to appeal the decision. After that, the Japanese branch monitored social media and urgently revised its rules, banning content related to suicide and self-mutilation, and ensuring that any violations were promptly removed. This horrific case underscores the sanctity of life and the importance of perseverance in the face of despair. It reminds us of the need to seek help and support in the most difficult moments of life, because circumstances can change,